No, stop with this. If that's what you want to engage in, do you. Stop perpetuating that message.
Stop it. Get some help.
Your entire message in this video is how it's so bad for women. You broke it down, how women are in the losing end of this equation and how they don't benefit whatsoever and they no longer get anything that they used to out of it, like marriage, a ring, commitment. It's now hookah and chill. There's zero winning. It's straight L's for women across the board. Just say it like that plainly. Hookup culture is bad. Stop with the apologizing. Stop with the, if you want to do it, go for it, queen.
Hookup culture. I think the girls are getting tired of hookup culture because I feel like I'm seeing more and more videos now of women who are just quite frankly fed up of dating. And I think that also explains why less and less women are on dating apps and why a lot more women are now choosing to just be single.
Already, we can't agree. There are not less and less women on dating apps. And there is a small sliver of women that are choosing to be single, but it's only when Chad is not available for them. Or after they've engaged in hookup culture, got pumped and dumped, and are sick of the Chads using them up. All right, well, it didn't start good, but here we go.
And I don't think that this is something that's exclusive to women. I think there are also a lot of men who are also sick and tired of the dating scene, and a lot of men who also have no desire anymore to take part in it because of the current state of it. And so we're just going to kind of look into some videos. We're going to keep it specific to women on this video, and we're just kind of going to have a look into see what they're saying about it and talk about it a bit more.
Can we please take a minute to talk about college hookup culture? I feel like it gets swept under the rug so much, like not enough people talk about it. Personally,
because the narrative in the media is female sexual empowerment. Empowering to be sleeping around, just like the boys do. Anything the boys do, we can do better. All right.
Being 21 years old, I've always kind of found it like harder to relate to people in the dating world because I was always looking to go on like real dates. And I've always just kind of been a relationship person. I mean, thankfully I'm my great boyfriend now, so I'm not dating anymore, but I remember when I was single in college, it was brutal, man.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the whole dates thing, to be honest, I think that women kind of ruin that. Hear me out. The truth is, if we're being honest, having an honest conversation, dates thing, to be honest, I think that women kind of ruin that. Hear me out. The truth is, if we're being honest, having an honest conversation, there are some women who will accept dates with guys who they're not interested in just so that they can have a free meal or free entertainment. So because of that, I think there is a category of men who have just completely given up on the concept of dating because they've wasted so much money and time on dates that never amounted to anything. Which is why I think the whole Netflix and chill thing became a thing, because it was a way for guys to not spend money but also still potentially get what they want, if you get what I mean.
No, women were okay with Netflix and chill because the guy was hot. That's really what it is. Guys just literally do the least needed to get laid, and women were accepting Netflix and chill. So it became a thing because women accepted it.
Hookup culture is not empowering.
I totally agree with everything she said. And if you're someone who enjoys hookup culture, by all means, you do you, boo. I'm not judging. I want to offer like...
Again, I hate when they do this shit. They have to guard themselves. If you like hookup culture, if you like destroying yourself and giving your body out and having a ton of emotional damage, then you do you, strong queen. It's like amazing for you. But for me, I wouldn't. Why do they have to preface every single statement like that when they try to shit on the mainstream narrative? Because they'll get shredded apart in the comment section by women. Women will shred her apart if she doesn't preface the message with that. If you want to hook up and become the town bicycle, do you, boo. That's like so empowering. But here's why it's bad.
Like a slightly different take though. As a brown girl, I went through all of grade school not thinking I was pretty. And then I got to college and realized that I was kind of hot. So for like the first time in my life, guys who I found hot found me attractive. And I would be lying to you if I said I didn't enjoy that attention. I also feel like our generation has normalized like hooking up with someone first before you date them. But the unfortunate reality is a lot of times guys see that as completely transactional and you are fully disposable to them. And so you really won't gain much, especially if you're someone who's like me and you want more of a relationship. I just don't think that hooking up with someone is going to get you there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Do you know what's crazy? Men will sleep with women who they would never be seen in public with. And as a woman, I couldn't quite...
Indeed, have plenty of friends that fish and harpoon whales all the time. Wouldn't be caught dead showing the crew who they sleep with. The practice chicks, that's what they're known as, right? Got to come out of your drought somehow, dude. You get a practice chick for some of these guys, and then boom, you got a little bit of abundance mentality. You got the little demons out of your head. You're cool to talk to the hot chick now without sounding like a weird creep or being like too needy about getting it, too thirsty. That's what it is, dude. Plus, if you're a chick, you have something men want. So if you're just going to give it up with very little resistance and you ask for nothing in return, a man's going to be like, cool, dude, I'm down for it. Whatever, yeah, the chubby chick coming over, smashing, great. I ain't telling my friends about it, though. I might say I harpooned a whale or two back in my day. But that's it, dude. It's like the fisherman thing from Patrice O'Neal. You want to show your friends the best fish that you can catch. But all the shitty ones, you just throw back in the lake, dude. Yeah, I got that. And I clap cheeks. I'm out, though. I can't let the boys know I smashed this fucking cave troll. That's really what it is.
I was quite shocked by that because women would never do that. The type of men that a woman would sleep with is on the same caliber as the type of man that she would have a relationship with.
Exactly. And this is why hookup culture is bad for women. Bruh. Because the men they hook up with, they have to emotionally be invested in first. He has to be good enough to be a relationship with. He has to be good enough to accidentally have a baby with. They have to see him as the Prince Charming they're willing to do the Disney narrative with. The Disney happily ever after. This is why when they see doctor, lawyers, millionaire, businessmen, private jets, all that shit, they're down to sleep with these men because they can provide all those things. But these guys are just looking at them like, oh yeah, nice boobs, nice ass, pretty face. Cool, this one I'll smash for Wednesday. This one's for Tuesday. I got my Thursday girl lined up. That's how men are. Women don't talk like that. Women don't think like that. They don't go, I got my Thursday guy lined up. Not anybody without any
emotional damage.
No. Any woman with a healthy mindset and self-esteem doesn't think of men that way. She values herself too much. She doesn't give her body out that way. It's people who are emotionally broken and damaged that don't respect themselves and just sleep around. And I have Mr. Thursday, Mr. Foodie Call Thursday. Sometimes I have to blow him in the parking lot to make sure I get my 5-star dinner. And then I have my sugar daddy on Saturday. He's flying into town and I got to do it again for a bag. Dude, these are people that are straight damaged.
Emotional damage.
And that's what the majority of the hookup culture is today. You know what's crazy? The hottest chicks you see on Tinder, hell, the majority of the chicks that are decent on Tinder that got their social media stuff up have a profile on Seeking Arrangements too. They got sugar daddies and then the chads they smash on Tinder. That's the truth. They're all over every single app. Why wouldn't they be?
Standards for who they would date in a relationship and who they would sleep with. Whereas men, it's not the same. Like the men have this standard for who they will be in a relationship with. But then when it comes to who they'll sleep with, the standard is like here.
Rock bottom. Can she speak? Men have no standards almost for the woman they're hooking up with. Just don't be absolutely hideously busted, dude. It's hard.
I do think that this is having a very detrimental effect on the dating space because I know this is going to sound bad, but I think the reason why women complain about settling so much is because a lot of them don't realize that what they deem as settling is actually their level. Because when they were sleeping with these really attractive guys, they thought, okay, this is my level. This person is attracted to me because I'm on his level. Not knowing that men drastically reduce their standards when it comes to casual situations. A guy will never make a commitment with a woman who he doesn't think is the best that he could do. If he thinks he can do better than you, he's not going to make you his girlfriend. But he will still sleep with you. Ladies. I promise I'm not trying to slut shame you. If you want to still live that life, that's entirely up to you. I'm not in the business of telling people how to.
You see, here we go. She had to preface the message that's about to come out of her mouth with, ladies, I'm not setting you back. You can be a street queen. You can be the town bicycle if you want. Strong queen, independent, the sisterhood. You see, even when they try to give advice to one another, they still have to lead each other in the wrong direction. They can't just outright say it, dude. Stop indulging in hookup culture if you're a woman. It's bad for you. Can't say that. Plainly like that, can't say that. But if you want, like, that's totally cool. Do you see?
To live their lives. However, I would honestly strongly encourage you to consider the fact that some of these guys who you give yourselves to view you as just being better than their hand. Like, that is how meaningful it is to them.
Because hookup culture benefits guys more than it will ever benefit girls. So some people are going to disagree with me, but let me explain. For starters, we've been knew that guys mainly just want sex. They rarely want commitment, but will do practically anything to get laid. Whereas girls, we're not super horn dogs. Some of us are, but not to that extreme. Y'all want to hook up like equally and with no commitment, whatever, like you do, you live your life. I'm not judging. The problem is that guys tend to lead girls on because they want to keep getting what they want, which is a hookup. And then girls are painted out to be clingy or obsessive or psycho because they catch feelings. But realistically, it should be understandable to catch feelings when you're doing something so intimate instead of just being painted out as crazy. And what do girls even gain from it? Honestly, 5 minutes of faking it and not finishing 99% of the time.
Did you catch that? Telling on yourself. 5 minutes of faking and not finishing 99% of the time. That's called
emotional damage.
I really don't think I'm missing out.
Oh, did you see? I'm not missing out. Sis is hurt. Sis got played. There's a bunch of fist bumps from the boys talking about, hey, I just matched this on Tinder and I smashed same night. Busted and was out of there, dude. Caught the Uber. I'm cool. Then hung out with this other lady I was talking to. The one I actually like.
Bruh.
They're just playing themselves, dude.
I've always found that term or that language really interesting. Catching feelings. Like, isn't that interesting how the natural response that happens from being intimate with someone, which is to develop feelings for them and to start to bond with them, is now talked about in a similar way to like catching the flu. I don't know. It's just interesting to me when people use that term, catching feelings. But going back to what she was saying, as someone who's never really took part in hookup culture, I've never experienced situationships or friends with benefits or one night stands. And I remember when I was in school, when I was in secondary school, people would say things like, oh, you know, you have to go through a hoe phase or whatever, and you kind of have to experience people in order to like know what you like, and so that when you're in a relationship, you don't like think to yourself like, what if, or like, I wish I'd kind of experienced that, and you'll always be like longing for those experiences. So
do you see how the sisterhood talks to one another? You got to go through your hoe phase, queen. You got to experience a ton of meat sticks, queen. You got to know what you like when you go into a relationship by comparing your man to all the other women and being perpetually unhappy because the guy you end up with is a settlement and not the Chad that pumped, dumped, and wowed you because all he wanted to do, like she said earlier, was just sleep around. But now you've equated him wanting to sleep with you with the quality of man you deserve to have. So any man after Chad, quote, alpha widowed, is now not measurable to him. The perfect specimen. No man will ever be good enough like the one Chad that got away. And therein lies the damage. And therein lies the settlement mentality. And this is where the divorce rate starts to creep up to the 50+% that it has in recent decades. Another side effect of hookup culture. Alpha widows.
You have to kind of go through that phase. To me, it just didn't make any sense. My headset was very much like, why should I just give myself to people? Because it's funny because I used to have this saying. I don't know if I want to say it because it's going to offend some people. Screw it, I'm going to say it. When I used to have this belief, don't be offended by this, okay? Because this was specifically for me. I was talking about myself and how I viewed myself.
Stop apologizing and just speak plainly. Truthfully.
When I was saying this, so don't accuse me of slut shaming or whatever nonsense. But the saying that I used to live by was, I always want to treat my body like a temple, not a McDonald's drive-through. But that was generally the mindset.
Oh,
bruh.
Oh man, I like that one. Most women today treat their bodies like a McDonald's drive-through.
That I had, and because of that I just never took part in any of that stuff because I just always believed that your body is so precious, like your body is so precious, and I just don't think that everybody should get to experience it. Not everybody should get to have that experience, and this applies to everybody. I think all of us have value, and I think that we should be selective with who we choose to share ourselves with, men and women. So if you're someone who's currently hearing loads of people tell you that you should experience that phase in your life, you should go for a hoe phase, you'll regret it if you don't, I can tell you that I never taken part in hookup culture, and I am in a relationship with the same person who I've been with for 7 years, and I am as happy as I possibly could be. I don't regret my decision whatsoever. In fact, I'm very happy with my decision. Good. So if you know in your heart of heart that you are not built to have casual sex, and you know in your heart of heart that you want to have something more meaningful, don't conform just because that's what everybody else is doing. Do I think that we can go back from hookup culture? No. I think we can, but I think that women may not know this, but we control the value of sex. There was a time when if men...
She's watching Manosphere content, boys. She's got the rules to the game down. She understands. And the sisterhood is probably berating her in the comments. We'll see.
Wanted to have sex, they had to marry you. Whereas now, the price of sex is
hookah and chill.
Netflix and chill. So the standards have changed, and we've allowed them to change because we wanted to prove that we could do it just as bad as the boys. And I think that that is backfiring. Most people who I hear complain about hookup culture are women, to be honest. And I think that there's a reason for that. And I mean, you can fully explore your sexuality and your sex.
Yeah, hookup culture is unfulfilling for women. They don't get to conquer anything. The notches on the board are meaningless. For men, you have to put in work to get laid. You have to convince the other gender to have sex with you. You have to convince a woman why you're worthy for her to spread her legs. As a woman, you do no convincing. You just give it away. There is nothing to be proud of for giving something away repeatedly every day to somebody. There's no fulfillment there. You have no skills. You learn nothing. Nothing is expected of you. You did nothing to give your body away. You gave it. It has inherent value. A man's body has no value inherently. He has to build value. He has to get muscles. He has to get shredded. He has to become attractive. He has to become charismatic. He has to become so many things wrapped in one in order to get laid. For an average chick to say yes to him in one night. That takes effort. And that effort is rewarded by him getting laid. And so it feels good. So men indulge in hookup culture. And women allow it.
Sexiness and fully, you know, discover yourself and your body, etc. in the security of your relationship. Like there's no reason why you have to explore that with strangers who don't care about you. And I often as well see all the time on TikTok women complaining about the O gap and how men can't even satisfy them and stuff. And it's like, well, if you were sleeping with someone who actually cared about you, then that wouldn't be an issue that you'd be complaining about. Because when you're sleeping with a stranger, he doesn't care. He's not going to see you again. I personally think hookup culture was a terrible experiment. And I think that it has harmed both men and women. I'm also, by the way, going to do a video on the negative effects of hookup culture on men. I wanted this video to be more centered around women, but I will also touch on the ways in which I think it's been a negative for men too in my next video, probably on Saturday or next Wednesday. Something that you want to continue to engage in, then, you know, do you? However, I think
stop with this. If that's what you want to engage in, do you. Stop perpetuating that message. Stop
it. Get some help.
Your entire message in this video is how it's so bad for women. You broke it down, how women are in the losing end of this equation and how they don't benefit whatsoever. And they no longer get anything that they used to out of it, like marriage, a ring, commitment, something. It's now hookah and chill. There's zero winning. It's straight L's for women across the board. Just say it like that plainly. Tell people hookup culture is bad. Stop with the apologizing. Stop with the, if you want to do it, go for it, queen. Stop.
There are a lot of women who don't enjoy it. There's also a lot of regret from some women once they reach their 40s.
It's called post-wall. She's watching the videos, guys. She knows. She's been watching Manosphere content. Yes, once women get past a certain age, where they become replaceable by the younger versions, then it starts to set in. Shit, I wasted my prime, my most valuable years having fun, being a city girl. And I got nothing to show for it. I couldn't nab a man and get commitment. Now I'm forced to be a strong boss babe, independent queen and work in a cubicle doing God knows what stupid computer work, busy work, essentially. I don't affect the company's vision. I don't affect changing the world. I'm another cog in the machine. And that's it, dude.
Being single and, you know, I laugh it off. But I'm 46 years old. And while I'm getting ready for surgery and everything, it dawned on me. Hold on. I'm sorry. It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me. I don't have a husband to help me get ready.
Nope.
I'm 46 years old and I still need my mama to take care of me post-op. I still need my sister, which, whether I had a husband or not, they would be there. It sucks. Being single and 46 sucks. It just sucks.
Emotional damage.
And I make jokes about the fucking buffoons that I have been encountering in dating. But in reality, this is my reality. This is my reality.
Oh my God.
This is my reality, and those stories are the shit that's available because all the good men have gotten married in their 20s and 30s because they're good men. I'm not blaming it all on men because women are fucking shit. They fucking batshit crazy too. So, but this is my reality.
I do think that it's important for women to date intentionally and to be more calculated with their decisions in terms of what they're doing, not to just mindlessly date guys for who you know it's not going to go anywhere with, or date guys who aren't taking you very seriously. And so, yeah, that's just my personal opinion on hookup culture. I would like to know what your opinions, though, are on hookup culture. So do let me know down below in the comments.
Let's see down below in the comments. Oh, here we go. I went through the whole I'll just have sex and not care thing too because I thought that's what I had to do to get someone. But all it did was make me feel absolutely awful about myself. Thankfully, now I'm at a point where I'm much more selective. Some beta Bob's going to lock that up and would rather be alone than have to deal with meaningless hookups that make me feel bad about myself. And you got to think of it like this. These guys are busting 5 minutes in. That's it. They're done. They don't care, dude. These are just pumps and dumps. It's in the name. And they're out. They're not trying to impress some of these women. It's just hookups to them, lays. And they're out, dude. A guy will put in work for somebody he cares about. He's going to try to learn the body of the woman he wants to impress. But at 99% of the women in the hookup culture and the dating apps, they're not the women to be impressed by these men. They're just lays. And women don't understand this. This is why they complain. 5 minute this. Dude busts and leaves. Yeah, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about performing. He just wants to get it in. He conquered you. Like that woman said, the McDonald's drive-thru. Fast food, baby, and I'm out. I got my chicken nuggies and I'm dipping. Later. Going through the next drive-thru that lets me creep in quick. All right? A man is going to reserve his best outfit for the 5-star meal at the fancy restaurant where he's going to bring out his very best self. That's how it works if we're going to use that analogy. But when I'm going to McDonald's, boys, I'm going in the hoopty. I got the most jacked up stuff on in a hoodie. Don't care. Not trying to talk to nobody. Just give me my number, whatever, and fries. Dip it. Dipping. Once I get the food, aka the meat sleeve, I'm dipping. Okay, when you go to the 5-star meal and you got a prime steak in front of you, primo grade stuff, You're going to enjoy that shit. Cut in there. You're going to salivate. Get them all in your taste buds. You're going to make sure you do your very best. That's what the game is, boys.